Cartoon Network has long had an interesting way of discovering new and innovative television shows to bring to their growing audience. Over the years, we've seen many original programming come out of their numerous variety shows. But how did we get here? How did we get to where we currently are, where animated shows that take a unique approach to their given genres seemingly come out of nowhere? Well, it all starts somewhere. Cartoon Network has never shied away from looking at the past for creating new content for the future. In the year 1991, Turner Entertainment purchased the animation studio Hanna-Barbera. This gave them access to classic shows such as The Flintstones, Scooby-Doo, Jonny Quest, just to name a few. In fact, Cartoon Network looked towards the 1964 series Jonny Quest as they moved forward with a series of year-long Turner-wide initiatives to capitalize on old characters and create new franchises. 1996 became known as the Year of Jonny Quest, starting with the launch of The Real Adventures of Jonny Quest, a reboot of the Jonny Quest series that placed our protagonists a few years in the future, where Johnny and Haji were now teenagers. The series wasn't a smashing hit as they had hoped it to be, but it was the beginning of something larger for Cartoon Network, something that would have more impact and set the tone for what Cartoon Network was going for with their programming block, combining the old with the new. Yogi Bear, one of Hanna-Barbera's classic cartoon characters, was reimagined in the late 90s by Ren and Stimpy creator John Kraftalusi. A Day in the Life of Ranger Smith and Boo Boo Runs Wild were two shorts created by John K. that displayed a different style of humor, sexual content, and break in tone from the source material. In fact, because of the nature of the shorts, Cartoon Network had a hard time finding a place for it in their programming block. That idea was short-lived and standalone. Trying to merge past shows with modern-day influences and style is all good, but is it really sustainable? There are new ideas out there just waiting to be discovered. Intro, What a Cartoon, a new initiative that provided Cartoon Network with original animated shorts commissioned from Hanna-Barbera and various independent animators. This gave them the chance to assess the potential of certain animated shorts to serve as pilots for spin-off series and sign contracts with their creators to create ongoing series. What a Cartoon proved to be a well full of amazing talent, unearthing now classic shows such as Dexter's Lab, Johnny Bravo, Cow and Chicken, The Powerpuff Girls, and Mike, Lou and Og. Cartoon Network quickly realized the variety show format was the direction to go in order to find new ideas for animated shows. It was a great way to discover new talent and really brought independent ideas that may have gone unnoticed to the forefront. This was a time where Cartoon Network took a lot more risks. In fact, as part of their $350 million multi-year commitment to original programming, Cartoon Network added 4 half-hour animated shows to its primetime lineup in 2001 and ordered nearly 120 new episodes of existing shows. How'd they find these particular shows? They created something called Voice Your Choice, where viewers had the chance to vote on which of 3 series pilots they'd like to see become a half-hour original series. This was a weekend filled with 52-hour original programming, all pilots vying to become an actual series. Which shows made the cut? Whatever Happened to Robot Jones, Codename Kids Next Door, and The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. This was really unprecedented, putting the fate of new shows in the hands of children. Betty Cohen, the president at the time of Cartoon Network, said, "It's the ultimate in kid empowerment. They get to program the network." After this great initiative, Cartoon Network was sitting pretty with a slew of new original programming. They placed their trust in creators that were alums of the What a Cartoon School of Ideas, with Gendy Tartakovsky creating Samurai Jack, Craig McCracken creating Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, and American writer collective Man of Action with Ben 10. All shows that were successful for Cartoon Network, with 2 remaining modern-day successes in their revivals. Proof that Cartoon Network is always looking to the past to create a successful future in programming. Cartoon Network's last foray into extracting more original programming came in the form of the CARTOONSTITUTE, headed by Craig McCracken. Unfortunately, it was a short-lived series, being canceled well into the first season, but not without providing us with 3 new shows in Regular Show, Secret Mountain Fort Awesome, and Uncle Grandpa. That was the last age of the cartoon variety shows. From there, Cartoon Network would return to their old methods of content discovery, looking at shows from the past and bringing them into the modern day era. But this time, they not only took a look at the golden age of television with Thundercats and the Looney Tunes show, they visited the silver age with reboots of the Powerpuff Girls, Teen Titans Go, Samurai Jack, and Ben 10. All shows that ran well into the late 90s, mid-2000s. What Cartoon Network has done, in my opinion, is a brilliant move. Over the years, they've always been conscious of the fact that they ought embrace new talents and pay attention to the ones that they currently have employed. Rebecca Sugar started off working on Adventure Time before moving on to work on Steven Universe, which started off as a pilot made specifically for Cartoon Network. And now, Ian Jones-Quartey, who also worked on both Adventure Time and Steven Universe, is moving on to spearhead his own series that was handpicked by Cartoon Network. OKKO, Let's Be Heroes. Cartoon Network is a perfect example of a company that has truly acknowledged its past to dictate its future, fine-tuning along the way its methods of operation to see to us remaining excited about what lies ahead. You may not like some of the reboots you've seen from Cartoon Network, but the fact that Cartoon Network is brave enough to take such risks in their programming, both on original, new ideas, and revivals of old classics, says something about their business model. It's a business model that's for the consumers and the entertainers and the content creators. A channel that's filled with variety for all ages. A testament to everything Cartoon Network stands for. What do you think is next for Cartoon Network? What shows do you think are next on their list for a comeback? Let me know in the comment section down below. Click that like button if you enjoyed this video and be sure to subscribe for more of this. Thanks for watching this video, be sure to share it, and until next time my friends, I will see you in the next one. Peace.